It's a grey and miserable day. Perfect day for a grey car. But is this one miserable? This is the new Geely EX5. Now, I've known Geely for many, many years, driven quite a few over its history too, not all of which have been great. But this is the first time Geely's in the UK, and if you haven't heard of them, well, they own Volvo, Polestar, Lotus. They might still own Proton, I'm not sure. But the EX5 is the first time Geely as a brand has been here. This is, of course, all electric, a 60.3 kilowatt hour battery. But my time with it, how should I put it? It's been interesting. Right, I am sat at a charger in the Geely EX5. Actually, I'm sat at a charger again. Here's a couple of stories.
EX5 seems to have suffered from charge depletion due to cold weather. So we're having to add some more charge at one of my regular stops, the MFG in Coventry. Regular as in MFG, not Coventry.
Now we've got a bit of range anxiety. Lindsay's driving while I had a nap, and we're having to come off at Worcester. Conditions outside pretty nasty. We're heading for an MFG charge point. And charging has kind of been one of the issues. The EX5 has a claimed range of about 255 miles. And as you can see from those pieces, I've had to charge a few times within what was a less than 200 mile drive over the weekend between Bristol and Coventry. This morning, on the day it goes back, I've tried to use an MFG charger, which is my preference usually. I'm currently in for about £300 in pre-authorizations because every time the car failed to charge, I had to pre-authorize again, to the point actually that one of my cards decided that's enough of that and just refused to approve anymore. I'm now at Sainsbury's at their Smart Charge Ultra Rapid EV charging, where I have added about 70 miles in the last 10 minutes, so that's all right. At least it is charging, so I can get it back. Anyway, that's the charging issue. What you can learn from that is that the Geely EX5 is not very predictable on its driving range. Let's talk about a couple of other issues with the car while I'm at it. First of all, there are these settings in here for driver assistance. I know it's a regular thing that we often look at, but the intelligent reminders, which you have to go into to be able to turn off, and that's the speed limit warnings. If you want to, not condoning speeding in any way, of course, but if I sit in a proper driving position and tap away to do that, this little camera here then starts shouting at me to say, you're not paying attention to the road. And that's while glancing, literally just for a fraction of a second, glancing at this. You can turn that off as well. So all these safety features that are built into the car, they're really annoying. And they do need to be turned off because they bing and bong. I was tempted to just put a Elastoplast over the top of the camera, actually, which does give you a warning, of course, but does stop it. Interior design is quite nice, nicely laid out. You've got this sort of typical squared off China style steering wheel. You've got a 15.4 inch high resolution main touchscreen, a 10-inch instrument cluster with fairly basic sort of information. Actually, talking about basic, the infotainment system is fairly basic. It's got Spotify, has a camping mode, a rest mode, and you can change themes if you want a picture of a little kitty cat on your screen, or maybe a dog in a hoodie. But not a lot else. And then you go through the various settings and all the rest of it, obviously without attracting the ire of the watching camera. Materials all seem quite good. Fit and finish seems decent. The seats are nicely designed. And here again, another thing is that there's probably a setting somewhere, but whenever I get in the car, it automatically puts the seat heat on microwave, and it gets very, very hot. You could turn it down, but then you have to reach for the button on the screen, And then the camera bings at you, shouts at you again. Massaging function, all sorts of bits and pieces. It is, what I will say is, as an A to B everyday kind of car, it does the job. It's reasonably decent. Ride comfort's average. There's not, if you're into driver engagement, there's not a lot of that. But copes well with the motorway. Longer journeys, of course, there's that issue over the driving range and charging. But loads of space. Got the family in there for a sporting competition weekend. Loads of space in the boot. And yeah, a decent all-rounder. So there you have it, the Geely EX5. No, it's not one I'm particularly enthusiastic about, and I have to say, as Geely's first model in the UK, it is a bit disappointing, but it does lots of things reasonably well. It's a good all-rounder, an A to B, a generic kind of Chinese electric offering, and for some, that'll be all they need.